Well, good morning, my friend, and welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. It is good to have you along with me on this Wednesday morning. And yes, we are safe here in the Oklahoma City area. I know that around the country they heard we had some tornadoes that came through, and I don't know if they were or not, to be quite honest with you. Sirens are going off. We just had a good old fashioned rainstorm, is what I consider it. And God kept us safe. We are doing just fine. It's always good to be back in the office, and I've got kind of a cool morning. The storm brought in some cool weather, and after the past couple of days of the humidity, this is kind of a welcome day, and it's going to heat right back up. And but certainly glad to have you with me here today. Now, I want to encourage you if you're a pastor or a parent, and we have a teen revival coming up in July. We'd love to have you come be a part of it. If you'll go to our church website and hit on the teen revival. It's free to come. We'd love to have you come. 3-day conference, and it will be a great time for anybody to come. You can register your group there, your children that are coming there, and we'd love to have them come be a part of it. I'd encourage you to do that. And then if you're a pastor or you're a young person looking for a Bible college, Old Paths Baptist College, I would encourage you to consider it and come. I'm telling you, I believe with all my heart that God's going to do something great with this college and trying to train the next generation. Getting out, and let's get old time religion churches out there. Who cares what the liberals say? Let's just stay busy and go. And you can go to opbc.college and see our college website and about us. And if you have any questions, give us a call. We'd love to be able to talk to you about the college. I think it'd be good if you could come and try and see us on a Sunday. And you'll see what kind of work that that God's producing through us. And I think it'd be a great thing for you. Well, in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15, the scripture says, "But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Christ." Now, if you were to come to my church, you would hear a preacher who some would say that he preaches hard. I know, I don't think I preach hard, but some think I do. Now, that statement may come from the mouths of those who are members of the church, but they would not say this in a derogatory manner because they love this type of preaching. They would make this statement about my preaching as a compliment. It would be a compliment because they know I love them very dearly. And I love them enough to preach the truth, even if the truth may seem to be directed at them. Even though I don't direct a sermon at anybody, truth, when it falls, always seems personal, does it not? Now, the people who are part of my church family know that their preacher loves them very dearly. And I love them enough to always preach the truth, even if it means I might lose somebody. Now, Paul commanded us to speak the truth in love. Nothing makes a greater difference in someone's life than for someone to love them enough to tell them the truth. We live in days when many feel that hard preaching runs people off, and it may. But what some call hard preaching is preaching that speaks the truth in love, but that love makes a difference in the heart of the one who needs to hear that truth because they're doing wrong. Now, I want to give you several thoughts about this truth that pastors and preachers, Sunday school teachers and parents need to consider about speaking the truth in love. First, it is not love to withhold the truth because you feel it might offend somebody. Now, there are many preachers who only preach what makes people feel good. It's easy to say we ought not to sin, but it's hard to tell people what sin is, name the sin. Now, not to preach something because you want people to feel good. That's not true love. The one who loves you the most is the one who'll tell you the truth, even if the truth offends. Who do you think loves you the most? The preacher who lets you do wrong and won't tell you the truth because it offends you, or the preacher who tells you the truth to warn you about the adverse consequences of what you're doing? Of course, the latter preacher is the one that loves you the most, the one that will tell you the truth, even if it hurts you. Now, don't get upset at the one who's telling you the truth when you're doing wrong. They just love you enough to tell you the truth. Second, nobody will grow in the Lord without someone speaking the truth. Both speaking the truth and speaking it in love is necessary for people to grow. So I can speak truth, but speaking truth without love sometimes will become offensive. But I speak the truth in love, it helps people to grow. So if okay, I often tell preacher boys, don't preach a sermon because it's a good, well, that'll preach. No, you ought to say that'll build, that'll help, that'll grow. You understand? I don't preach because that'll preach. That's why I get, and I don't know, using a cliche here. That's why I don't like camp meeting preachers as much because that'll preach and they'll preach up because, well, that's tough. I'm not care. I don't care if it's tough or soft or what. If it's truth, I'm preaching it because it builds and it grows. I want to build people. I want to grow people. It's all. It's not a matter of I'm preaching to because, well, that's a great sermon. I'm preaching because it helps someone. It grows someone. It builds someone. That's why I preach truth. Now, truth spoken in love might offend, but it is the only way that you can grow people, build people, help people, speaking truth in love. Our goal ought to be to build, to help, to grow. That's our goal. So I speak the truth in love. If I speak the truth without the love, just because it's truth and it sounds good, it's going to hurt. So, third, truth will at times seem harsh, but love takes the jagged edges off the one doing the wrong who will receive it. So, the more you love people, the more truth that you can speak to them. So, if you're just preaching a sermon so you can preach, the truth in that sermon repels people away. But I want you to get this. But when you're preaching the truth to make a difference in their life, to build them, grow them, help them, and even though you may do it in passion and in a hard manner, as the world would call it, it's still going to help because you're preaching to help. Fourth, the more you love, the more people will take any truth from you. So you don't need to worry if the truth you preach will run someone off if you love them because they'll know you love them and that you want the best for them. I can't tell you how many times I had people come to me and say, "Preacher, boy, that was tough, but I know you love me. I know you love me." Now, get this. Now, that's what it's about. Learn to love people greatly, and they will take the spoken truth right. You see, that's the key. But you're not going to love people if you're not investing in their lives, if you're not around them, if you're not praying for them, you're not trying to help them. Truth can offend, but spoken in love, it'll build, it'll grow. Let me illustrate it this way. My mom, when I was a boy growing up, she'd often say, "Son," she go, I'd be sick, and she goes, "Now we take this thing. I think it's called turpentine hydrate." And she'd say, "Son," she goes, "Now she goes, this is going to hurt going down, but it's good for you." Now I didn't like taking that turpentine hydrate, but you know what? That turpentine hydrate helped me to get better. It was the medicine. My mama loved me, and she was willing for me to be hurt, feeling that burn of that turpentine hydrate going down on the throat. She knew, get this now, that it would help me. And you know what? I was always willing to do it, even though I hated it, because I knew my mama loved me. I've had a lot of preachers, now get this now, that have loved me enough to tell me the truth, and I appreciate that. Now, let me say this. I'd rather have a preacher preach truth without love than a preacher who thinks it's love not to preach truth just to make people feel good. Truth without love is still truth getting out. At the end of the day, get this now. Now, going back to these, what I call these cat meeting preachers, at least they're speaking truth, even though they're preaching it. Well, that sounds good. Great sermon. Yeah, but the truth is good. And whether or not they're preaching it to help, to build, to grow is not the issue. They're preaching truth. I like that. But I would much rather have, and the greatest way to make the impact is to preach the truth and to preach it in love. Love to build, love to grow, love to help. And I preach that way. That softens the blow. It's kind of like putting some syrup, or putting something around the medicine. You know, you take the medicine and then you're getting some juice down or something down to kind of take that taste, that terrible taste out. what's that? Is taking the truth in love. That's what he's talking about. If we can do that, we can make a great difference in life. We don't have to compromise. We don't have to backslide to be like the world to get people to listen to truth. Preach truth, but the way people will take it is you preach it in love. That love to help, that love to grow, that love to build. And what it does, it takes the bite off so that the truth can do the work in the heart of the believer. My friend, I challenge you to try this out. Start learning to love people. Invest yourself in them, and you're going to find you can preach the truth without compromise. You can preach it, but you're preaching it in love, and that's what makes it. Love covers a multitude of sins, and if some have compassion, making the difference. If I'll get that love, that compassion, my friend, I'll preach truth, but I'll preach it in such a way that it'll help them because they know this person loves me enough to tell me the truth. Well, I hope this is a great help to you today. Now let's remember today, be good to everyone